Right, hello everybody, this is 3D Mentalist. I'm going to be bringing you a simple Maya tutorial today. I've never done anything like this before, so it might be a bit choppy and all lava, but we'll see how it goes. So basically, the way to move about is to hold Alt left click to pan around, or you can hold Alt right mouse click to come in and out like this. And you can also just wheel in and out with your mouse wheel, and that is the basics of moving around. So what you want to get doing is building some geometry. So you can go up to create, polygon primitives, and you've got your basics here, your spheres, your cubes, your cylinders, your discs and planes. Another method to get there is also to hold shift, right click, and you've got them all here. So you can just click on this blue rectangle here to create one, delete to get rid of it, or you can hit the little box here, which is universal for taking you to the options. So you get all sorts to play with here, like its radius, its height, its divisions. You usually just want to either have this between 8 and 20, really, because 8's a good basic block, and 20 is a bit more of a detailed one. So we'll just make an 8 one for now, so just create it, there you go. So you can use what I was talking about before to move and look at it. If you ever get lost, you can left click an item, object, press F, and that'll bring you closer to it, snap you towards that object. Alright then, the basics of moving stuff around is you've got your stuff up on the left here. But what I like to do is use W, E and R for those. So W is your translate tool with the different axes there. E is your rotate tool. I've got this rotate tool on snap at the moment, so it's moving like this. If you wanted to change that, you can go to modeling toolkit, and there's a step down here, so that gives you some degree of control if you want it off, if you want to have it like how the translate was. But I do really like to have that on with rotate, because it's not very often you don't want to rotate on a set angle sort of thing. And then you've got R for scale as well, so you can scale this in, out, up and down, get some interesting shapes straight away. One thing I've got to say as well is if you don't see the UI like mine, you just want to change it to my modelling standard, and then I just put it to standard, changed a few bits, and then changed its name to Rebirth just because I've come back to modelling after all these years. So just change it to modelling standard and then give it a name if you want, like I have. Right, so we've got that there. So that is mostly the very basics, so we'll just delete that, get rid of it. Shift right click, we'll build a cube. Bring it up here so we can see what we're doing. So they're like the very basics, and then the next sort of lot of basics that are really important. Once you know this one as well, you can pretty much start making anything really. So what you want to do is right click on the object, and you've got edge, vertex, face, and object mode. Object mode just keeps you in like being able to select between sort of things without editing them. So if you had more than one, for example. And then say you were working on the edge of one, won't let you. We'll let you click on there, so that's no problem. But anyway, back into it. We've got edge, vertex, and face. So if you select edge, that'll give you complete control over the edge you selected. My colours will probably be a little bit different to yours because I've spent quite a time fiddling with them. But just that, by the way, if you go to Windows, Settings, Preferences, and then come down to colour settings here, this is where it all lives. and you can mess around with all these sort of things here, like change the highlight colour, which you can see is affecting the outside. It would take a long time to go through all this, so just kind of go through at your own pace and see what you like. So I've got my edge selected here. Now I've got the edge selected, I can go through the different keys again. So W to move it around, E to rotate it, although that won't work on this object, and then R to scale. So I can bring that in. I can bring that in as well. It's getting an interesting looking shape there already. So then that gives you control, and you've got your vertexes there, which is very similar to the edges apart from the vertexes. So you can grab those two, start editing with those as well. Gives you a wide degree of control once you've got all this sort of stuff. So if you ever get stuck on the face and you actually just want to get back to just being able to select the object as a whole, that's when you go to object mode, and it allows you to select the whole thing instead of just something individual. So there's that, and then the next important part to be able to do, so say you've selected an edge or a face, you want to go up to mesh tools, edit mesh, my apologies, and then extrude. This is one of the main tools you'll be using throughout anything you build really. So hit extrude, and that'll extrude the face, and then you get some options here, thickness, offset, and a few others. You usually want to be only working with thickness and offset, so bring out some plus thickness to make it pop out a little bit, or you could bring it in, but then obviously since we've brought it in, you can see that it's clipping now, so this is when you want to change the offset. I want to knock this down, oh, wrong way, sorry, knock this inwards, so we can make a nice shape like that. So extruding, you can also hotkey it as Control E, which is very useful. So we can make some sort of like little hood cap here for this. So you really want to get learning the W, E and R for your different tools. It makes your workflow massively quicker. And Control E, this is a very important as well, one that you use all the time. Control E again to extrude, and then we'll offset it in again. If this ever gets too choppy like it does, and I'm not too sure how to control it, its radius so to speak, you just change it in here. 0.55. Cool, that's not worked. 0.055. There we go, that's the one. So if you don't have enough control with the actual clicking on it and moving it left and right, this is when you just go in and just start changing the values to get what you want. So we're starting to get something of an interesting shape already. And I think I'll teach you 2 more tools. So another really important one I didn't get taught for a long time in modelling, which is a really super important one. So select all the edges here. That one there. And you've got a tool called, if you've got the modelling kit on standard, you'll see it in the underneath modelling toolkit over here. And you're looking for bevel, which can be found in, I think it's it. Yeah, you can find it in edit mesh as well. Lots of different things to play with in here. I'll go through them all in a later video if anyone wants me to. So I'll just extrude this out again a little bit, just to make it extrude it in a little bit. So then once you've got an extrusion like that, you can see it starts adding some real definition to the shape along here, which is really good. But then a bevel just does that and then some, which is really useful. So you click these in here. Got them down here as well. Oh, not that one. Down here as well. So you've got all that, and then if you bevel it, it's going to add another extra line in between, and like basically just make it look even more advanced. See there, it opened. Added another little one in. Beveled the edge off. And this is a very important tool for building definition. See, it's got an extra one now, so it kind of looks like a window pane almost, like an outer shell and then an inner one and then the actual geometry. So beveling's very, very important. It's something you want to play around with a lot, just make some shapes, see what they look like, bevel them in and out and stuff. And you can also select face and bevel, which will do it around the outside of the face. As you can see there, it's add another one. You've got a few different options here. So fraction increases the span between the bevel and the original one that you had. So you can do that there. So if you do increase the fraction, it all depends on what you're building, of course. If you improve the fraction, that means you can add more segments in there, which is basically adds just more depth and more definition. I'm not too sure what chamfer is, so I'll have to properly learn that before bringing it to you all. So you've got that, and then what makes it really important is when you watch the amount of definition this middle area has compared to the outside when we're smoothing it with free. See that? So this is all worked out really nicely in here because it's got lots of supporting edges, lots of geometry in the middle, so it's created a nice shape. This is how you control the shapes. Obviously out here we haven't got very much geometry at all, so it doesn't really know what to do when it smooths it. So obviously it looks like a bit of a... God knows what that's supposed to be. But you see, the point, if I was to bring another tool, which, yeah, this tool's fantastic as well. If you go into Mesh Tools, insert Edge Loop, and you can click on the edge that you want and it'll create a loop around, if it can, which it should have no problem doing it here. There we go. So create that edge around there, supporting edge, and create one here. And now when we smooth it up, this area should be more defined, but this will still be like before because we've not done anything to this. See, that's all. These two lines have added support structure to it and allowed it to be a much nicer shape. And obviously we haven't done any to this top bit, so it's not very nice. So they are mostly just the basic tools. There's one more I could show you, which I wish I got shown at uni, which no one ever did. So we'll just go to this one. You can also add edge loops with the multi-cut tool. The multi-cut tool is fantastic. It's probably one of the most versatile tools out there, and it's very, 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 very useful for modelling. And if you hold Control, you just hold Control whilst you have it, you can build an edge loop like this, and it shows you on the preview there where all the vertices are going to be in the blue, and then the edges are orange. So there you go. So that tool, if you hold Control, can do that. And the way that this tool is interesting is it lets you cut from vertice to anywhere to another vertex. So for example, I can click up here, I could click into the middle, I could click back up here, and then click along, enter, and now I've got a triangle in my shape, which you would have a hard time getting in otherwise, since you only have control. Let's delete the history on this. I'll show you on this one actually. When you first initially build these geometries, you'll have in the attribute editor, which is where you do most of your editing for the model. Like it's all this translating and stuff. But obviously, we just hotkey that. We don't want to come in here entering values because that'll take a long time. Unless you want to be very precise, of course, and you probably want to use the value boxes. But this, you'll get an option called Polycube, and this is where you add all these divisions I was talking about. But once you start editing the model, like I have with this one, you'll see that disappears, that option. So just bear that in mind, that your workflow, think about what you want to build first and have a general idea excuse me, have a general idea of what you actually want to build, so you can sort of prep it here. If you want to do it that way, of course, like I just showed you before, you can pretty much just do it with the multi-cut tool and just start building what you want and how you want it. So just grab them two, we'll Control E to extrude them in, push them in a wee bit, knock the offset down a tiny bit to make this interesting shape. Then the last one I want to teach you is what's the best way to show this? I'll just delete these two, and I'll just delete these two and these two. Right, so it's not the best example of this because it's not really going anywhere, but when you're on your vertex mode, you grab hold of these vertexes, and I'm sure once you get modelling you'll find a use for this because it's very, very useful. But if you grab the vertices, it's highlight green, you grab another one, you can go up to under edit mesh, and there's a merge here, and merge to center. So merge to center is going to bring those two to here, and then merge will bring them in depending on your threshold. Another way to do it is to hold shift, go up to merge, and you've got your two options here again. So if I go merge to center, there you go, they'll bring it right into the middle, which is really important. Click this one, click that one, shift, right click, merge vertices. See that? And then they come together in the middle, and you grab that one, grab that one. You can press G to repeat your last command. So if I'm going to press G here, it's going to pull these two vertices together again, like that, which is really good. And then if I pull that one to this one, I'm not sure what's going to happen actually. Oh yeah, it's going to absolutely ruin it. So if you wanted to fill this gap in, there's two ways you could do it. You could build a supporting edge around the back here, so that when you pull these two together, it's not going to just... Oh, I need to... my bad. My last action was the edge loop, not the merge. So I'll grab them both again, and I'll bring merge to center. So it's not destroyed it as bad. It's, you know, you could fiddle around with these and maybe merge these two together and start working your way around. Or, the last tool I'll show you for today, another vital tool, one that I wish they'd shown us at uni because it would have helped massively, is if you get the edge tool, so right click edge, just normal right click to bring this up, and you click here, here and here, this area that you want filling in, because it'd be impossible to fill it in with merging with this geometry we've got. So what you can do is go up to mesh and then fill hole. Oh, that's not worked for some reason. I think it's because I've got something weird going on here. So what I'll just show you instead is this face, get rid of that. And obviously now I've got a hole here, and say you've gone over here and done some editing and done some editing over here, and next thing you know you can't Control Z, which is redo. You can't Control Z back because you've made too many moves. So then you're like, oh well, I've got this massive hole in my object now, that's not good. So this time, if all the edges are sound, you can double click on the edge for it to follow its edge loop, or you can click all the way around yourself. I recommend double clicking, that saves a lot of time. Double click, and you can see that's a much better geometry hole. So this one will fill in, so we go mesh fill hole, that just fills it in like that, and it's sorted, and then you've got your geometry back. Right, so that's my oh, and I'll just show you how to save it quickly as well. So you've got your project managers, so you've got a project window here and a set project. So you go to project window, it shows you all these different things that you can go to the folder for and what have you. But say if it's brand new and you've started thinking you want to make a robot army, let's say, you'd go to set project. You'd right click into the Maya projects area here, which will take you here by default. So just go new folder, robot army, and then you'd set that, just tell it to create a default workspace, that's fine, and then you can save it and it'll be under Maya projects robot army. You save it and it'll be there, which is really handy. So this is my basic modelling tutorial, just your absolute basics, just to get you by, but start making just some sort of interesting shapes. And this is just the first to come, really. I'm going to have plenty more to show, and going to do some more tutorial videos and speed modelling videos and what have you. But I really hope this helps someone's out, and please like and subscribe, it'd be much appreciated. And have a good day, thank you very much.